Hey humans, thanks for stopping by Visually and Verbally, where we look at marketing from both design and content perspectives. Pictures and words, my friends. Pictures and words. Today we're talking about the website for the new sci-fi movie Ex Machina. To follow along, you can find this website at exmachina-movie.com.
To give you a little background, this is a website put up for the sole purpose of promoting the movie Ex Machina. It's kind of a common practice in the movie industry to put up websites for upcoming movies to share basic information, trailers, images, and other content people might want. Here's the IMDb description of Ex Machina to give you a little idea what this movie's about. A young coder at the world's largest internet company wins a competition to spend a week at a private retreat belonging to the reclusive CEO of the company. Upon arrival, he learns that he must participate in a bizarre experiment which involves interacting with the world's first true artificial intelligence, which comes in the form of a beautiful female robot. I added a little bit with my inflection there. So let's talk about the content and design of this website. We'll flip a coin to see what side we'll start from, the visual or the verbal. Coin flip, please.
The coin flip, and it's verbal.
Okay, so let's start with the verbal side of this site. Generally, there's not a whole lot of content here. This is more of a visual site. The most content you'll probably find is the movie synopsis, which is okay. You know, there's nothing too surprising or notable there. It gives you an idea of the plot. So what I want to focus on, what aspect of the site, is the review callouts. It's a key component of the site. So, we'll talk about this because this is for companies, something a lot of people do in general, pulling quotes from articles or, different sort of call-outs that you use on the site. Now, just with the internet and the amount of content out there that people can reference and quote, especially when it comes to movies, there's just so many places you can pull review call-outs from now. It's lost some of its weight, some of its punch. People don't take it as gospel like they used to. So the key with that is to be less generic and get more specific with your callouts, to really speak to your audience with it. And the Ex Machina website has that here, definitely. It actually has both. You find your standard 4 stars, a triumph, an instant classic, those type of reviews that you hear for almost every movie these days. So those are there. But there's also a few more interesting ones that I think good example of what you can do with a callout. And here's a few of those. Skin-bristlingly intense. This is bewitchingly smart science fiction. Compelling, sleek, and seductive. A Frankenstein for the search engine generation. So those are 3 call-outs that go beyond just discussing the quality of the film to tell you a little bit about the style and tone of the film and the audience, who this film is actually for. Now that's something all companies should strive to do with their website call-outs. Don't just call out empty words that are like white noise or just sit there and don't mean much. Try to spotlight things that really say something to your target audience, that really grab them, pull them in, and, show them how they're getting what they're looking. And I think Ex Machina, with those quotes, especially the way it spotlights them on the site with the design, does a great job of that. So that's my take on the verbal side.
Those are all good ones. And, I'll just say myself, I love A Frankenstein for the search engine generation. That's a great one. From the visually side, first I'll go out on a limb here and say that this site is probably the best movie site I've seen in a long time. I am making that statement, Chad.
It's bold.
It is. The site makes use of some of the newest design development techniques or coding. You won't get real technical there, but what we call it is parallax scrolling, which has become more of the norm on sites now. And it's used really well here. I like the subtle animation of the text and graphic elements, specifically the constellations, the typography, the very subtle fading and scrolling of that typography that makes the site a pleasure and an experience. On top of that, the organization of the site, from the first section, getting tickets, to the trailer, to the starred reviews that you mentioned, is really refreshing. The site understands the main call to action, which is wait for it, to get people to go see the movie. And that's the key here, is that they're creating an experience with this website that then resonates with your audience so that they go and have another experience with the movie. Lastly, in relation to the parallax, and we talked about responsive design in the past on other sites, that's a hurdle that many sites deal with this type of design, with parallax scrolling. but they've made some minor modifications to simplify some of the animations that happen with the parallax scrolling to work more efficiently and effectively on mobile.
Yeah, and it definitely does that. It definitely sets the tone for what the movie is, or what the movie seems to be anyways. It's a very cool website. 10 minutes has passed and you're just staring at this, like you said, cool constellation design, and they have the flashing robot laying down at the bottom there. It's a very cool site.
Yeah, hypnotic almost.
It's a good word.
Hypnotic. So that's this website, Visually and Verbally. We hope this gives you some ideas for your own website. If you'd like to suggest a website for us to talk about, email us at feedback@thinkmonsters.com. Stop back again for another dose of Visually and Verbally.
Whoa!